Well, I managed to make it out of town before the sun came up, which actually isn't that big of a deal, given that the sun comes up pretty late these days. But at least I was out of town when the nice light was happening. These lenticular clouds that are formed by high-altitude winds were hanging perfectly to catch the light from the rising sun. But luckily the wind that formed them hadn't reached the ground yet. And the sunlight on the mountains in that clear, calm air changed quickly from pink to blue. I had really hoped to get the moon setting behind those mountains, but no, I miscalculated quite badly. Well, that's okay. It was still a nice, lovely November morning, and you can't really complain about that. So I kept on going over toward the mountains and into the valley of the Sheep River. Not much snow back in there, but gorgeous light. It found its way through gaps in the trees and lit up the dry grass and the lichens and the little bits of frost that were deep in the shadows. And from there, I went on to the Highwood River. It was a little bit more wintry over there, but truly just in the deepest shadows, in the places where the sun just doesn't shine at this time of year. And further on from there, I actually found frost. This is the first real frost I've seen this year, and it was just by a tiny stroke of luck that I happened to find this. It was already starting to melt and fall off the trees, but it was beautiful while it lasted, sparkling and clean and quiet until, well...
Here comes a logging truck.
Yeah, the road I was on was an active log haul route, so I just went looking for a little bit more frost, a little bit more ice. Even though it's the end of November, beginning of December, winter really hasn't hit there yet. Yes, there was a lot of ice, but it was all in the deepest shadows. Which, of course, doesn't make it any less pretty. But even though it doesn't feel like winter, the days are still short, so I turned around and headed back. I stopped to photograph these limber pines up on a ridge. I love these old trees. And then explored some of the open water down along the Highwood River. Anywhere there are springs or moving currents, it's still not frozen, and probably won't be for quite a while. My day was nearly done, but I had to stop for this. These cattle were being moved to a new pasture, and Mama Moose and her baby were watching the whole commotion. Baby was not impressed. Me, I was completely impressed. True, we really could use some snow. But November? Thank you. December? Keep up the good work.